We'd like to thank you for joining us for the Modelo Fighting Chance Project, brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with the fighting spirit. In this roundtable discussion, we'll be discussing the topic of Black history in the making. I'm your host, Molly Hunter, and with us today, we have pro football extraordinaire Jerome the Bus Bettis, radio personality and amazing woman of the culture, Angela Yee, and renowned actor and producer and stand-up comedian Flex Alexander. Hey, everybody. Hey, beautiful Black people. Listen, I always say every day is Black History Day, but it's Black History Month, and I just like to thank you guys all for taking the time to be a part of this roundtable and dedicating your personal stories. We're 2 months into a new year, coming off a year that brought us so many issues that Black people have faced for more than a century to the forefront on live television and social media conversations. So we're going to get into what we've seen, how we felt, and what we're doing to move forward. Is that cool, everybody?
Yes.
Please, yes. I'm happy to be here.
2020 showed us what's worth fighting for, what's worth voting for, and, the fight that must continue. So the African-American community, we've been dealt blow after blow. It's been heavy for us. So, this year filled with social and political injustice and unrest. My first question, I think I'll go to you, Flex. My first question is, how are you doing this second month of 2021? Like, how are you?
I'm better. I'm better. Just trying to stay in a good space. It was a lot. I mean, the year was a lot, and you still feel the remnants of it. And the thing that that I'm glad that people are trying to think positive and move forward. But when the new year it came in, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, woo, we out of 2020." I'm like, stuff is still going to happen, and I don't mean that in a negative way. There's still going to be occurrences. There's still going to be things that shock us, as we've seen already. I'm just trying to stay even keel and stay positive, meditate. And trying to balance everything, honestly, just really trying to find balance.
I love that. And Angela, I know you're doing so many big things, but I also see that you're staying positive. You're opening new business. How are you doing in this February Black History Month? How you feeling? How you doing?
Well, I do feel energized, and I try to make sure I keep that going. I know sometimes it can get really heavy just watching what's happening in the world and watching the news, but I do feel like it's my responsibility to be a lot more involved than I've ever been. And I felt that especially in 2020. And I've been feeling that more and more every single year. And so I'm always trying to think of actionable things that I can do to make sure that I uplift my community and that I continue to do things that are positive and be somebody that obviously we're not perfect. I'm not perfect at all, but I try to do whatever I can to help out other people as well.
That's what I'm talking about. I think, just watching you and seeing how much you don't just give to the world with your presence on the media channels, but also what you do with philanthropy and giving back with your new company. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Jerome, my brother, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing well. And looking at the events of last year, one thing I will say is as an African American, we are a resilient group of people, because the one difference between last year and the last 20 years is that this is the first time that people are able to see some of the things that have been happening to us. And so, yeah, it's been a tough year, but it's been an enlightening year, I think, for people other than us. We've seen this and had to go through this year after year after year, and now it's starting to come to light to the point where now we're able to look at it and say enough is enough. And so it's a great year. I'm looking forward to this year. Also looking forward to what, as an African American, we could be from a political standpoint. The fact that we came out in mass, in the masses to vote, I think that's something that we look at. We should be very, very proud of, because now we know each individual, our vote counts. our words count, and that we go out here and be as positive as we can be with the platforms that we do have.
I love that. And Jerome, you're in Atlanta right now. So so am I. And, you know, I think we all collectively feel the power and the energy that we have here. So, Angela, what's the first major pivot change you've made at the start of this new year, either for yourself or your community?
I think that whenever I do something for myself, I always do think bigger picture that is for my community also. And so with the businesses that I've been doing, I'm always just making sure that whatever I do is something that benefits everybody, right? So I opened a juice bar in Brooklyn. I did that 4 years ago. Juices for Life. I did that not as really a way to make money, but because I saw a lack of that in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn. And that's why I did it. It wasn't because I thought I was going to become a millionaire off of it. It's actually a lot of work and it's not a huge payout at all, but it employs people in the community. And it also provides a service of every time I go there, I see people who are benefiting from it. And then from that, I started my own pressed juice company, which I actually just last week relaunched and is available for people because everyone kept saying, I want to have a juice bar in my neighborhood too. And so I saw the need for that. So now that's the next thing. It's called Drink Fresh Juice. And then I started a coffee company. And part of my initiative in starting that company was to be able to, because coffee was started in Ethiopia. And I think a lot of people don't know that coffee is a Black thing. And so what we're trying to do with this company is not just sell coffee, but also educate people and teach people how they can open their own businesses, open their own coffee companies, and help them do that. So we have a whole educational component that goes along with it. So everything that I do, I'm trying to make sure I'm really intentional about the educational aspect, how to go about it, and then trying to teach the next person.
I love that. And I think, you know, one of the things for me, you know, that I've seen in this community is people coming together more. So Jerome, what major pivot have you made? You know, because a lot of people say it's politics, I'm gonna stay out of it, but this is about our community. And I think the stronger we become together, you know, the more power we have. So what major pivot have you made at the start of this new year for yourself or for the community?
Well, for me, it's been two things. One, individually, I've focused really on my health and saying, you know what, I want to be here for the foreseeable future to make sure that I am trying to help impact change and be involved in a new America, right? And the second part is I'm doubling down from a foundation standpoint on the educational side of what's happening with COVID. And I think a lot of people don't understand and don't know that our communities have been negatively impacted the most with COVID-19. Speaking about educational standpoint, the kids, there's an unequal playing field because now everything is going to a virtual learning. In the African-American community, a lot of families don't have the access to the internet or the computer that they need. So you know, now that's being you know, talked about, but it's still underserved. So my foundation, you know, we kind of stepped up and said, hey, we want to provide those computers. We want to provide the access. So we've been, you know, we've donated, raised money for over 1,000 computers already, laptops. So what we want to do is we want to go nationwide and try to do more of that because right now, COVID is not going anywhere and these kids are still being left behind. And so we've got to do whatever we can do with the foundation to help, you know, get things going. And the foundation is called the Bus Stops Here Foundation. So that's what we're trying to do. And I think we're making the impact.
Flex, how about you? What kind of pivots? I mean, I already know you have always been about this,
yeah.
You know, but what are you doing for you or the community or your family to just kind of pivot from where you were last